Hello everyone, today we'll be talking about the human anatomy. Today is the introduction to the human anatomy. Today we'll be talking about three things, three systems: the respiratory, the circulatory, and the digestive system. Now, first off, can anyone here tell me what the digestive system is? Yes, Yoel, I see you can raise your hand.
The digestive system is the thing that we use to digest stuff, like food.
Yes, that's correct, Yoel. The digestive system is what we use to process food. Now, on to the respiratory system. Anyone here can answer. For example, Eugene. Can you answer?
The respiratory system is the thing we use to breathe and exchange oxygen and carbon dioxide in our bodies.
Yes, that's also correct. That is exactly what a respiratory system is. Now, can either of you tell me what our circulatory system is? No? No one? Okay. Our circulatory system is basically when it involves our heart, arteries, veins, capillaries, and blood. To put it short and simple before we explain it later on, the circulatory system is responsible for circulating blood all throughout our body. Now, what I really want to focus on today is to get you guys to be able to identify and differentiate what organ is in what system and what their functions are. First off, let's talk about the pharynx. The pharynx is a part of the digestive system. Now, the pharynx's function is to move food from our mouths into our esophagus. The esophagus is a tube that connects our pharynx to our stomach, or in a more medical term, the gaster. Now, the gaster, or our stomach as most people would call it, is where the food is getting thrown down to be broken apart by the stomach lining that produces the enzyme pepsin. Pepsin will turn all the food that you consume into a slurry. The slurry will then move to your small intestine, which has the function of absorbing nutrients and then disposing of anything that cannot be turned into nutrients to the large intestine. The large intestine's main job is to identify what's waste and what's dangerous, eliminate what's dangerous, and turn the waste into excrement that will come out of our rectum as a way of throwing it out. So that's all about the digestive system. Any questions? Yes, Yoel, I see you have a question over there. What is it?
Yes. My question is actually about why we have to learn three systems today instead of just one. Wouldn't it be better if we just discuss about the digestive system today, then at the next meeting the respiratory system, and then the circulatory system?
Good question, Yoel. The reason we are studying the respiratory, circulatory, and digestive system at the same time is because these three systems are located near one another. Now on to the respiratory system. As Eugene mentioned, it's our breathing system. There are many parts that make up our breathing system. First off, we have the larynx. The larynx functions as our opening of an airway as well as our voice box. It allows air to go into the next organ, and that next organ being the trachea. Now, the trachea is there to guide the air all the way to our lungs. But just before it reaches our lungs, we have the bronchi. The bronchi, or the bronchi, as some people might pronounce it, are tubes that lead into our lungs. And since we have two lung parts, left and right, there are two bronchi, left and right. Now, at the end of these bronchi, we have the alveoli. The alveoli are the smallest parts of the lungs. This is where the exchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide happens on a cellular level. The circulatory system is composed of many parts. These many organs make up the circulatory system, starting from the heart, going to the artery. Then there's the veins, and then the smallest blood vessel, the capillaries. And of course, what flows through all of these? What moves all the oxygen around your body? The blood itself. Now, we're going to talk about the heart first. We'll move on to the rest later. The heart functions as our body's pump. What it does is the heart pumps at a certain rate. And if that pumping should ever stop, that's what we call cardiac arrest. And that can lead to the idea of you being deceased. The arteries and the veins may be in the same kind of system. However, they're two different things entirely. They just work together. Main difference that you should all remember: arteries bring oxygen-rich blood from the heart going out to the rest of the body, while the veins bring back the oxygenated blood, or blood that has carbon dioxide, to be pumped back through the heart somewhere else, let's say the lungs, so that can actually exchange oxygen and carbon dioxide all over again to start the journey again. Your capillaries are the smallest blood vessel in your entire body. These connect to your muscle tissue, to your organs, everything. Anyway, that's all about the circulatory system. Any questions at all? Yoel.
What is the difference between the pharynx and larynx? They sound similar.
All right, finally a question. I actually expected this question since I talked about it earlier. So Yoel, the difference between the pharynx and the larynx is that the pharynx is at the entrance of our mouth to move food from our mouth into our esophagus. It is part of the digestive system. The larynx is our voice box, and it helps us generate sound and control wind movement to our face. This is part of the respiratory system. So, to easily remember how to figure out what is the pharynx and the larynx and what system it's a part of, there's a trick to this. The pharynx has a pH sound for its beginning. The esophagus also contains a pH sound. So you can associate it like this: pH sound or pH letter, digestive system. Now, larynx and lung both start with L. This makes it a lot more simple. This means that you can associate L with the respiratory system. So just remember this: pH, digestive system; L, respiratory system. If you still have a problem with this, we'll go over it again. All right, Yoel?
The larynx, lungs, and alveoli.
Yes, that's correct, Yoel. Now, we're going to have a little exercise here. Eugene, could you tell me 3 organs that are within the digestive system?
The pharynx, esophagus, and the small intestines.
Yes, those 3 are correct, Eugene. Now, Yoel, your turn. Name 3 organs that are contained within the respiratory system.
The larynx, lungs, and alveoli.
Cool. Very good, Yoel. Anyway, random bonus question. Can anyone here tell me what 3 organs make up the circulatory system?
Oh, the heart, artery, and the vein.
Good job, Eugene. Now, next up, I'm going to ask each of you to give me the names of 2 organs and their functions. Eugene, you go first.
So the heart is for pumping blood around the body, and the small intestine absorbs nutrients after the food is broken down.
Cool. Yoel, you're next. Go ahead.
The larynx is our voice box, and the esophagus is a tube that connects our pharynx with the gaster.
All of you are correct. Congratulations. Now, one last thing. Could you each tell me what systems are the organs from that you talked about?
The heart is from the circulatory, and the small intestines is from the digestive system.
The larynx is from the respiratory system, and the esophagus is part of the digestive system.
All right, Eugene. All right, Yoel. Both of you are correct in your naming as well as what systems they're from. So, it seems that all of you can grasp the subject easily, and I'm very proud of you for all of this. Now, before we end the lesson today, I would like to have a small assessment, or you could say assessment test of sorts. And for this, guess what everyone, we'll be using Kahoot.
Should be easy using Kahoot then.
Oh, nice, a Kahoot.
I'm happy to see that both of you are very on board with this. Now, try to open up your Kahoot in your own respective gadgets and be prepared to enter the game pin, which I will give out momentarily. Each of you will have 5 minutes to complete this, so I expect you to be able to be done before having a panic attack about the time limit. You may start as soon as I give the game pin. All right, everyone, 5 minutes are up. I've already checked the results. I was completely off screen. Do not mind it. Now, turns out everyone actually got all the questions correct. Apparently, all of you listened to my long lecture or my long explanation. I'm actually quite happy that you did pay attention. So thank you for that, students. Now, because there have been no questions that have been gotten wrong, and everyone seems to be able to understand the lesson, and also our time is up, That'll be all for today, and I'll be excited to meet you all next week. So thank you everyone for today, and I'll see you in the next session. Bye.